The universe had seen Goku challenge gods, destroy impossible limits, and transform into powers that even the strongest warriors could barely comprehend. But there was one name that Beerus had spent millions of years refusing to speak, a name that belonged to a Saiyan who existed long before planet Vegeta, long before Frieza, and long before the Super Saiyan God legend became a story told between warriors. One night, while Goku was training with Whis, Beerus suddenly opened his eyes. He had felt something, not an enemy's key, not divine energy, something older, something that had no business existing anymore. Whis immediately noticed the change in his expression. "Lord Beerus, what is it?" Beerus remained silent for several seconds before answering. "That feeling, it's impossible." Whis looked toward the stars. "You recognize it?" Beerus slowly stood. "I recognize the fear it creates." Goku stopped training. "Fear? From you?" Beerus glared at him. "Don't joke about this, Saiyan." Goku's smile disappeared. Beerus looked toward Earth and whispered a name he had not spoken since the beginning of his existence. "Yamoshi." Whis froze. Goku had heard the name before, but only as part of an ancient legend. Beerus turned toward him. "You think the first Super Saiyan God was simply a story?" He paused. "It wasn't." Then the sky above them suddenly turned black. Every star disappeared at once. And from somewhere beyond the edge of the universe, a voice spoke. "Beerus, you still remember me?"
Goku immediately sensed the voice wasn't coming from anywhere he could reach. It seemed to exist everywhere at once, surrounding the planet without producing a normal energy signature. Whis raised his staff and scanned the darkness, but even his expression changed. "Interesting." Beerus turned sharply toward him. "Don't say that." Whis smiled faintly. "I was merely going to say that this is quite unusual." Beerus clenched his fists. "That thing isn't unusual. It's a disaster." Goku looked between them. "Who exactly is Yamoshi?" Beerus finally answered. "The first Saiyan who ever challenged the gods." Goku's eyes widened. Beerus explained that millions of years ago, before the Saiyans became conquerors, there had been a warrior who believed their race had taken the wrong path. Yamoshi gathered 5 other pure-hearted Saiyans and attempted to create a power that could challenge divine beings. They failed. But Yamoshi didn't die normally. His body disappeared, while his spirit remained trapped beyond the mortal realm. Beerus had believed the spirit had faded long ago. He was wrong. Whis suddenly looked toward the darkness. "Lord Beerus." Beerus nodded. "I know." A single red light appeared above Earth. Then another. Then thousands. Goku looked upward as the sky filled with strange symbols. A voice echoed again. "The Saiyans forgot me. The gods buried me. But you." The voice paused. "You inherited my power." Goku's heart began pounding. Beerus stepped directly in front of him. "Goku, whatever happens next, do not answer that voice." Goku didn't listen. "Yamoshi, why are you talking to me?" The darkness suddenly disappeared. The stars returned. For several seconds, nothing happened. Then Goku collapsed. Whis caught him before he hit the ground. His body was burning with energy, but his K wasn't rising. Instead, something inside him was moving. Goku opened his eyes and found himself standing in a strange red landscape. There was no earth, no sky, and no horizon. Only an endless field of shattered rocks beneath a crimson sun. Someone was standing in the distance. A Saiyan. He had long black hair, a scar across his face, and an expression unlike any warrior Goku had ever seen. He wore no armor. His body was covered in ancient battle scars. Goku immediately recognized the tail. "You're Yamoshi." The warrior nodded. "And you are Kakarot?" Goku smiled. "Most people call me Goku." Yamoshi stuttered him. "That is why I chose you." Goku became serious. "Chose me for what?" Yamoshi looked toward the crimson sky. "To finish what I began." Goku asked what that meant. Yamoshi told him that the Super Saiyan God transformation was never the true power he had sought. It was merely the first ore. Behind it was something the gods had feared so deeply that they erased every record of it. Goku asked what was behind the door. Yamoshi looked directly into his eyes. "A Saiyan who can exist beyond divine law." Goku stared at him. Why would Beerus be afraid of that? Yamoshi's expression became cold. Because Beerus was there when my existence was erased. Goku suddenly woke up. He was back on Beerus's world, but Beerus was nowhere to be seen. Whis stood nearby with an unusually serious expression. Goku immediately asked where Beerus was. Whis answered that Beerus had gone to Earth. Goku asked why. Whis looked toward the planet, because he believes Yamoshi will appear there. Goku asked whether Beerus had fought Yamoshi before. Whis remained silent. That silence was enough. Goku immediately traveled to Earth. He found Beerus standing alone on a mountain, staring toward the horizon. Lord Beerus. Beerus didn't turn. I told you not to answer him. Goku asked why. Beerus finally looked at him. Because the last time someone answered Yamoshi, millions of worlds disappeared. Goku couldn't believe it. Beerus explained that Yamoshi had once attempted to overthrow the gods, not because he wanted to rule the universe, but because he believed mortals should never be controlled by beings who could erase them without consequence. His rebellion had become so dangerous that several gods united to stop him. Beerus had been one of them, but Yamoshi had refused to die. Instead, he created a technique that separated his consciousness from his physical body. His body was destroyed. His spirit disappeared. The gods declared victory. Beerus had spent millions of years believing the threat was over. Goku asked the obvious question. Then why is he back now? Beerus stared at him. Because you awakened him. Goku refused to believe that he had caused Yamoshi's return. But Whis discovered something disturbing. Every time Goku transformed into Super Saiyan God or Ultra Instinct, his body produced a second energy signature for a fraction of a second. It was almost impossible to detect. But now that Yamoshi had revealed himself, Whis could finally identify it. Goku wasn't simply carrying divine Saiyan energy. He was carrying a fragment of Yamoshi's consciousness. Beerus became furious. How long has that been inside him? Whis answered that the fragment had probably existed since Goku first became a Super Saiyan God. Beerus asked why he hadn't detected it earlier. Whis explained that Yamoshi's energy was dormant and hidden beneath Goku's own K, but something had changed. The fragment was becoming active. Goku suddenly felt another voice inside his mind. You finally understand. He closed his eyes. Yamoshi appeared again. This time, Goku could hear him while standing on Earth. Why me? Goku asked. Yamoshi answered, because you are the first Saiyan who achieved divine power without becoming a god. Goku didn't understand. Yamoshi explained that every Saiyan before him had treated strength as something to possess. Goku treated strength as something to protect others with. That difference was what Yamoshi had been searching for. He had not returned to destroy the universe. He had returned because the universe had reached the point where someone had to decide whether mortals would forever remain beneath the gods, and Goku was the only Saiyan capable of making that choice. Whis discovered an ancient location buried outside normal space. It was a temple that existed before the current divine order. Beerus refused to go near it. Goku asked why. Beerus answered that the temple was where Yamoshi had first created his forbidden technique. Goku insisted on going. Whis accompanied him. Beerus reluctantly followed. They entered a dimension where time moved differently. Ancient statues surrounded them. Every statue depicted a Saiyan kneeling before a strange symbol. At the center stood a broken throne. Goku approached it. The moment he touched it, the entire temple awakened. Ancient writing appeared across the walls. Whis translated it. The warrior who surpasses the gods shall not rule them. He shall remove the right of any being to rule another through fear. Beerus immediately ordered Goku to step away. But the temple had already chosen him. The floor cracked. A golden light surrounded Goku. Then a second figure appeared behind him, Yamoshi. But this time, he wasn't a spirit. He was visible, physical, alive. Goku stared in disbelief. You came back. Yamoshi looked at Beerus. No, I was never gone. Beerus raised his hand. Yamoshi smiled, still afraid. Beerus? The god of destruction's expression hardened. I don't fear you, Yamoshi answered quietly. Then why have you spent millions of years pretending my name never existed? Beerus attacked first. The temple exploded beneath the impact. Goku barely escaped the shockwave as Beerus and Yamoshi vanished from sight. Their punches were too fast for Goku to follow. Whis watched carefully. This is remarkable. Goku asked who was winning. Whis didn't answer. Then the entire dimension shook. Beerus appeared through a mountain wall. Yamoshi followed immediately. Beerus wiped blood from his mouth. Yamoshi looked almost untouched. Goku had never seen Beerus push this far. Beerus unleashed his destruction energy. Yamoshi raised one hand and stopped it. The energy disappeared into his palm. Beerus's eyes widened. Yamoshi explained that his power did not resist destruction. It existed outside the law that allowed destruction energy to function. Beerus attacked again, but Yamoshi caught his wrist. "You haven't changed," Beerus growled. "Neither have you," Yamoshi answered. "That's where you're wrong." He released Beerus. "I learned something during my imprisonment." Goku watched silently. Yamoshi continued. "Power without purpose is meaningless." Beerus looked toward Goku. "And you think that boy has purpose?" Yamoshi smiled. "He has something you never understood." Beerus asked what. Yamoshi answered, "Choice." Yamoshi showed Goku the past. Goku suddenly saw planet Vegeta before it had become a world of conquest. He saw Saiyans living as hunters, warriors, and families. He saw Yamoshi among them. Unlike the other warriors, Yamoshi refused to kill innocent people. He believed Saiyans could become protectors instead of conquerors. But the elders rejected him. They considered compassion weakness. Yamoshi eventually gathered 5 other Saiyans who shared his beliefs. Together, they attempted the ritual that created the Super Saiyan God. The transformation succeeded for only a few minutes, but those few minutes changed the universe. The gods noticed. Beerus was ordered to investigate. Yamoshi believed Beerus would listen. Instead, Beerus was commanded to eliminate him. Yamoshi fought back. The battle destroyed entire regions of space. Eventually, Yamoshi realized he could not defeat the gods physically. So he sacrificed his body and hid his consciousness inside the energy created by the ritual. Before disappearing, he made one final promise. "One day, a Saiyan will appear who possesses the power I could never control." Goku understood. "Me." Yamoshi nodded. "You." Goku asked Beerus why he had never told anyone about Yamoshi. Beerus looked away. For once, he didn't have a sarcastic answer. He admitted that Yamoshi had been the first mortal to make him question whether the gods were always right. Beerus had been ordered to destroy him, and he had obeyed. But when Yamoshi disappeared, Beerus discovered something that frightened him. Yamoshi's consciousness had not vanished. It had spread into the universe. Every time a Saiyan reached a new level of power, a fragment of that ancient energy awakened. Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue. Each transformation had unknowingly moved the universe closer to Yamoshi's return. Goku asked whether that meant all Saiyans were connected to him. Yamoshi answered that they were, but only one had awakened the complete power, Goku. Beerus warned him that if Goku accepted Yamoshi's full energy, he might become stronger than the laws governing gods. Goku asked whether that was dangerous. Beerus answered, "It depends on you." Yamoshi smiled. "Exactly." Suddenly, WHI's looked toward the sky. Something had entered the dimension. Something even he couldn't identify. One by one, divine presences appeared around the temple. Gods of destruction from distant universes had sensed Yamoshi's return. They believed the ancient Saiyan had come back to overthrow them. Beerus immediately stood between them and Goku. One god demanded that Goku be surrendered. Beerus refused. Another accused him of protecting a threat capable of destroying the divine order. Beerus answered that destroying Goku would accomplish nothing. Yamoshi stepped forward. "They are afraid because they know the truth. The gods attacked." Goku joined Beerus and Yamoshi. The battle became chaotic. For the first time, Goku fought alongside the Saiyan whose legend had inspired the Super Saiyan God transformation. Their movements were almost perfectly synchronized. Yamoshi anticipated Goku's attacks before he made them. Goku instinctively understood Yamoshi's movements. Beerus watched them and realized something terrible. Goku wasn't becoming Yamoshi's vessel. The two were becoming compatible. WHI suddenly understood it too. "Lord Beerus." Beerus nodded. "I know." Goku and Yamoshi were not merging yet, but their energies were beginning to resonate. If that process continued, something new could be born, something no god had ever faced. The battle ended when the gods realized they couldn't defeat Goku, Beerus, and Yamoshi together. They retreated, but not before warning Beerus that Zeno would be informed. Goku asked what would happen next. Beerus answered that Zeno might erase Yamoshi. Yamoshi laughed. "Let him try." Beerus immediately became serious. He knew Yamoshi wasn't bluffing. If Yamoshi truly existed outside divine law, even Xeno's authority might not work normally against him. But Goku noticed something strange. Every time Yamoshi became stronger, Goku's body reacted. His heart rate increased. His aura changed. His eyes briefly turned silver. WHIs realized that Goku was beginning to access a state beyond Ultra Instinct. It wasn't simply a transformation. It was a state where Goku's mortal instincts and Yamoshi's ancient consciousness operated simultaneously. Yamoshi called it the Saiyan origin state. Goku asked whether he could control it. Yamoshi said no, not yet. Goku smiled. Then I'll learn. Beerus groaned. That's exactly what I'm afraid of. The next attack came from somewhere unexpected. Goku returned to Earth and discovered that everyone was frozen. Bulma couldn't move. Gohan couldn't move. Piccolo couldn't move. Even Vegeta stood motionless in the middle of Capsule Corporation. Time itself had been stopped. Goku immediately sensed divine energy. The Grand Priest appeared. He told Goku that the decision had already been made. Yamoshi could not be allowed to continue existing. Goku demanded that the Grand Priest release Earth. The Grand Priest refused. He explained that Yamoshi's return threatened the balance of all universes. Goku asked why the gods were so afraid of one Saiyan. The Grand Priest answered, because he proved that gods can be challenged. Yamoshi appeared behind Goku. The Grand Priest looked at him with something resembling fear. Yamoshi smiled. You remember me? The Grand Priest said nothing. Then he revealed the truth. Yamoshi had not been imprisoned by Beerus. He had been imprisoned by the Grand Priest himself. Millions of years earlier, the Grand Priest had sealed Yamoshi's consciousness inside the mortal universe. Beerus had simply been told to destroy his body. Goku's expression hardened. The person he had trusted as the highest angel had been hiding the truth all along. The Grand Priest explained that Yamoshi's ideology was more dangerous than his power. If mortals learned they could challenge divine authority, the entire structure of the multiverse could collapse. Goku disagreed. He said strength didn't give anyone the right to control others. The Grand Priest responded that someone had to maintain order. Yamoshi laughed. That's what every tyrant says. The Grand Priest attacked. Goku entered Ultra Instinct. Yamoshi fought beside him. The battle tore through the frozen dimension. The Grand Priest was far stronger than Goku expected. Every attack was perfectly calculated. Goku was repeatedly pushed back. Yamoshi eventually took a devastating blow to protect him. Goku caught him before he fell. Why did you do that? Yamoshi answered, because you are not my weapon. Goku stared at him. Then what am I? Yamoshi smiled. My proof that I was right. Goku's eyes changed. Silver light mixed with gold. His aura became completely silent. Even the Grand Priest stopped moving. WHIs whispered, that isn't Ultra Instinct. Beerus looked at Goku. No, he clenched his fists. He's creating something new. Goku's transformation didn't explode outward. Instead, the entire battlefield became silent. His hair remained black with silver highlights, while a golden aura surrounded his body like flames. His eyes carried the calm of Ultra Instinct, but his presence felt unmistakably Saiyan. Yamoshi stood behind him, slowly fading. Goku realized the truth. The power wasn't Yamoshi controlling him. It was Goku finally understanding the purpose behind Yamoshi's power. The Grand Priest attacked. Goku disappeared. A single movement sent the Grand Priest crashing through the dimension. Beerus stared in disbelief. Goku had not simply become stronger. He had stopped fighting according to the rules. The gods understood. The Grand Priest recovered and attacked again. Goku countered every strike without anger. Every movement was instinctive, but every decision was conscious. Yamoshi's voice echoed inside him. This is what I could never achieve. Goku answered silently, then we'll achieve it together. The Grand Priest's expression changed. For the first time, he looked genuinely afraid. The Grand Priest raised his hand. The entire dimension began disappearing, not exploding, not breaking, simply ceasing to exist. Goku tried to move, but space itself was being erased around him. Yamoshi told him to run. Goku refused. Beerus attacked the Grand Priest from behind. WHIs joined him. The two angels moved together, trying to protect Goku long enough for him to escape. But the Grand Priest was prepared. He separated Beerus and WHIs with a single gesture. Goku watched Beerus fall. He remembered the god of destruction who had once feared Yamoshi. Now Beerus was fighting to protect the same Saiyan he had once wanted destroyed. Goku shouted his name. Beerus looked up. "Don't you dare waste this." Goku understood. The Grand Priest had underestimated one thing. Goku wasn't fighting for power, he was fighting for people. Goku released his new form completely. The erasure stopped. The Grand Priest's eyes widened. Goku had created a boundary around himself that even divine erasure could not cross. Yamoshi appeared beside him. "Now you understand." Goku nodded. "Yeah." But then Yamoshi revealed something Goku had not expected. He wasn't afraid of the gods. He was afraid of himself. Millions of years ago, Yamoshi had reached the same state Goku was experiencing. He had believed he could save the Saiyans by destroying the gods who controlled them, but his anger had grown stronger than his purpose. He nearly destroyed innocent worlds. That was why the Grand Priest had been able to justify sealing him. Yamoshi admitted that he had failed. Goku asked why he had returned if he still wasn't sure he could control himself. Yamoshi answered, "Because I needed someone who could finish what I started without repeating my mistake." Goku understood. Yamoshi wasn't trying to become powerful again. He wanted Goku to inherit the responsibility he had failed to carry. Beerus overheard everything. For the first time, he understood why Yamoshi had truly frightened him. It wasn't because Yamoshi was stronger than Beerus. It was because Yamoshi had once possessed enough power to become a god himself and had rejected it. Goku was now standing at the same crossroads. Vegeta suddenly appeared. He had sensed Goku's energy from Earth and followed it into the dimension. He saw Yamoshi. His eyes widened. "So you're the one?" Yamoshi looked at him. "Prince Vegeta." Vegeta demanded to know what was happening. Goku explained everything. Vegeta listened silently. Then he asked Yamoshi one question. "If Kakarot accepts your power, what happens to him?" Yamoshi answered that Goku would become something beyond any ordinary Saiyan transformation. Vegeta immediately rejected the idea. "Then he doesn't take it." Goku looked at him. Vegeta continued, "You spent your entire existence fighting to prove you could become stronger than everyone else. Don't let another Saiyan convince you that strength is the answer to everything." Goku smiled. "You're starting to sound like Grandpa." Vegeta glared. "Don't ruin the moment." Then Vegeta stepped beside Goku. "If you're going to fight this thing, you're not doing it alone." Goku nodded. Yamoshi smiled. For the first time, he saw the Saiyan race he had dreamed about millions of years ago. Goku, Vegeta, and Yamoshi stood together, 3 Saiyans separated by millions of years, standing against the divine authority that had shaped the universe. The Grand Priest looked at them and realized that history was repeating itself. Yamoshi had once gathered 5 Saiyans. Now Goku had brought Vegeta. Their combined energy began resonating. Vegeta's power represented pride. Goku's represented compassion. Yamoshi's represented rebellion. Together, they created something none of them could produce alone. The Grand Priest attacked. Vegeta intercepted him. Goku moved through the opening. Yamoshi struck from above. The Grand Priest was forced backward. Beerus watched from a distance, realizing the impossible had happened. Saiyans were fighting together without competing for superiority. Their power increased because they trusted each other. The Grand Priest finally understood why Yamoshi had always been dangerous. His true weapon wasn't transformation. It was the idea that Saiyans could unite. Goku looked at Vegeta. Vegeta nodded. They attacked together. The final battle shook the boundaries between universes. Every movement created shockwaves across space. Vegeta pushed himself beyond his limits, refusing to let Goku carry the entire fight. Goku maintained the origin state, but the longer he used it, the more Yamoshi's consciousness began fading. The Grand Priest realized this and targeted Yamoshi. If Yamoshi disappeared, Goku would lose the power. Yamoshi took the attack directly. His body began dissolving. Goku shouted his name. Yamoshi smiled. "Don't stop." Goku wanted to save him. Yamoshi refused. "You were never meant to carry me forever." Goku understood the final lesson. Yamoshi's power was not something Goku needed to keep. It was something he needed to learn from. Goku released his connection with Yamoshi. The ancient Saiyan began disappearing completely. The Grand Priest smiled, believing Goku had lost his greatest advantage. Then Goku stood again. His aura remained. His eyes remained silver. His power remained. Yamoshi's voice echoed one final time. "Now it is yours." Goku stood alone against the Grand Priest. Vegeta was unconscious. Beerus and Whis were injured. Yamoshi was gone. The Grand Priest believed the battle was over. He told Goku that without Yamoshi, he was only a mortal Saiyan again. Goku smiled. That's enough. The Grand Priest attacked. Goku moved faster than before. He didn't use Yamoshi's energy. He didn't borrow divine power. He fought using everything he had learned. Super Saiyan, God, Blue, Ultra Instinct. Every battle, every failure, every friend, every loss, every lesson, all of it had become part of him. Goku's power didn't come from being the chosen Saiyan. It came from choosing who he wanted to be. He struck the Grand Priest once. The impact shattered the divine barrier surrounding the battlefield. The Grand Priest staggered. Goku struck again. Then again. Finally, the Grand Priest fell. But Goku did not kill him. He offered his hand. You don't have to be afraid anymore. The Grand Priest stared at him. Goku continued, nobody should have that much power and still be ruled by fear. The battle ended. The Grand Priest lowered his head. For the first time in millions of years, he admitted that Yamoshi's original belief had not been completely wrong. The gods had created order, but they had also created fear. Beerus approached him. The Grand Priest asked whether Beerus still believed Yamoshi was a threat. Beerus looked toward Goku. No, he paused. I think we were the threat. Whis smiled. Goku returned to his normal form. Vegeta slowly woke up. He immediately complained that Goku had finished the battle without him. Goku laughed. Beerus watched the two Saiyans argue and realized something had changed. The universe no longer needed to fear a Saiyan rebellion. It needed to understand what the Saiyans could become when they stopped fighting against each other. Yamoshi's spirit appeared one final time. He looked at Beerus. You finally understand. Beerus nodded. Don't make me regret it. Yamoshi smiled. I won't. Goku found Yamoshi standing alone beneath a quiet sky. His body was becoming transparent. Goku asked whether he was disappearing forever. Yamoshi said yes. Goku asked whether that meant the Super Saiyan God legend would disappear too. Yamoshi shook his head. The legend was never about me. Goku looked confused. Yamoshi explained that the first Super Saiyan God was not remembered because he was the strongest Saiyan. He was remembered because he proved that Saiyan power could serve something greater than conquest. Goku smiled. So what happens now? Yamoshi looked toward Earth. Now the future belongs to you. Goku thanked him. Yamoshi smiled. Don't thank me. You did what I couldn't. Then he disappeared. Goku stood alone for several seconds. He didn't feel weaker. He felt complete. The voice that had existed inside him for so long was finally gone. But the lesson remained. Goku returned to Earth with Vegeta. Everyone was waiting. Gohan asked what had happened. Goku smiled and said it was complicated. Vegeta immediately interrupted. He fought an ancient Saiyan, challenged the Grand Priest, nearly broke the universe, and somehow survived. Goku laughed. Bulma stared at Vegeta. You say that like it's normal. Vegeta shrugged. For Kakarot, it is. Goku looked toward the sky. Something felt different. The universe was quieter. Beerus returned to his planet, but before leaving, he gave Goku a final warning. That power will attract enemies. Goku smiled. Then I'll get stronger. Beerus rolled his eyes. That's exactly what I expected. Whis smiled. Perhaps Lord Beerus, this is the beginning of something interesting. Beerus looked at the stars. That's what worries me, but deep inside, Beerus wasn't afraid anymore. The Saiyan he had once feared had become the very reason he no longer needed to fear Yamoshi. Years later, the story of Yamoshi began changing across the universe. He was no longer remembered as a dangerous rebel who challenged the gods. He became the first Saiyan who believed their race could choose its own destiny. Goku became the warrior who completed his dream without becoming him. Vegeta became the prince who learned that pride did not have to mean isolation. And Beerus became the god of destruction who finally admitted that even gods could be wrong. The ancient Saiyan's name was no longer whispered in fear. It was spoken with respect. But there was one final detail that remained unknown. Before disappearing, Yamoshi had left something behind. Not power, not a transformation, a message hidden inside the ancient temple. Whis discovered it years later. The message contained only one sentence. The first Saiyan has awakened. Goku looked at Whis. What does that mean? Whis didn't answer. Beerus slowly stood. His eyes widened. It means Yamoshi wasn't the first. Goku's smile disappeared. Somewhere beyond the universe, something ancient opened its eyes. Goku stood beneath the night sky, staring at the stars. Vegeta joined him. Neither knew what the future held. The universe had survived Yamoshi. The Grand Priest had changed. Beerus no longer feared the ancient Saiyan, but something even older had awakened. Vegeta asked Goku whether he was afraid. Goku smiled. A little. Vegeta laughed. Good. Goku looked at him. Why? Vegeta crossed his arms. Because the day you stop being afraid is the day you stop growing. Goku smiled. It was Saiyan, ancient, powerful, and completely unfamiliar. Beerus felt it from his planet. Whis felt it too. The two gods looked toward each other. Beerus whispered, so that's who Yamoshi was afraid of. Back on Earth, Goku's eyes widened as he sensed the same presence. Vegeta clenched his fists. Kakarot. Goku smiled. Yeah, the wind moved across the mountain. The stars seemed to grow brighter. Somewhere in the darkness, an ancient Saiyan had awakened after millions of years. And this time, even Yamoshi's warning had not been enough to prepare the universe. Because Goku had finally met the Saiyan, even Beerus feared. But he had never been the strongest one. He had only been the first. The end.